Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Game Design Perspective. I am Santi,
And I am out.
and we're both game designers in the video game industry. Here to talk to you about it, about what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening behind the curtain. Um, Before anything, disclaimer: this is our opinion and our opinion alone, and we do not represent any of our previous employers or current employer. We do not represent the opinion of any studio or any other game designer that is not in this room. It's our opinion and our opinion alone. So, with that being said, recently, I think this is a very important episode. Because recently there's been quite a lot of controversy with this game called The Day Before.
Yeah.
So you know what happened, Mo?
Yeah, the day before was this game that apparently a lot of people were expecting due to the trailers and everything they actually showed. Everything marketing related that they actually showed. There were people that were legitimately excited and hyped for it, right? It was as far as I've seen, like some sort of survival horror MMO game, sort of. Yeah. And when it came out, like people were legitimately disappointed about it. Like it was absolutely nothing of what was shown in the trailer.
It was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's actually a very curious case of what is called an asset flip, and we're going to talk about that. So the thing is that this is actually very common information, and this is something that a lot of game design students go through. Actually, like they go through this process a little bit, but so people were calling this an asset flip, and there are several games in Steam that are called asset flips. But sometimes I talk with friends that are not in the industry or friends that don't know game development, and they don't understand what actually asset flip can do, and what asset flips like, and why when they show a lot of times when they showcase in big events. Like this huge game. I remember when Two Souls Aside was showcased as well. People were like, "Oh my god, he's a single developer, and he's doing it alone, and he looks insane." And I remember talking to my friends, and it's like, "Square Enix is like garbage. Like hundreds of people are doing like this Final Fantasy 15, and this looks better." And I was like, honestly, I'm not impressed. And they were like, "Whoa, how can you not be impressed?" Right? And it happens a lot. Like, whoa, this game's like one single developer and it looks insane. It looks amazing, And then you're like, I'm very paranoid with the
single developer. Yeah, when they say a single developer, like it kind of rings a bell in your head that it's like, be careful with it, right? Only a few games that are made by a single developer are actually like the real thing that they're showing you, right? I think Stardew Valley is actually made by just a single developer. And just take a look at the scope, at the art scope it has, right? And that's very important.
There it is. Scope. The scope is not matching the idea. No. Like that this is a single developer. Like the scope is not matching. And I'm like, this doesn't work for me. Something's off. And the other thing I'm really paranoid about when they announce new games is when it's like a new team. Who's this new team? So what is it that like this new team, have they done anything? Is it ex-developers? Who are these people? So I tend to go to their website all the time and see like, who are these like group of people, or who's making this game that I've never heard of, like this studio and everything. And I tend to be very paranoid, and I think a lot of people in the industry tend to not be very excited about these announcements, specifically because a lot of people know how easy you can fake them. A short story here is that when the Metro Exodus was announced on the Xbox press conference in E3, the trailer was like, the graphics were real, the graphics were all perfectly real, but the capture, you couldn't capture in engine in 4K and play at the same time, because you will be rendering like one frame every 3 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
So you couldn't play. So everything that, like, if you go back and see the trailer of Metro Exodus, it's all scripted by one guy. It was worked by Andrew Prokhorov, and like this technical designer called Jay, like we call him Jay, and it was like they were just scripting. It was like just animation scripted so that we could capture in 4K, so that we could show like the graphics of Metro, you know. So there was a lot of work that went in making this trailer. So the first point I want to say is that whenever you see a gameplay trailer or like an engine trailer, it takes a significant amount of man hours and work to do them. So if the game is not ready, this is why I actually don't mind pre-rendered announcement trailers that showcase the feel and the sensation of the game and what it wants to be. Instead of having like not realistic polished gameplay trailer, because the reality is that trailer will not represent the final game, but it took like a full milestone of like some very important people to make it. So what would you rather, right? What would you rather, Mao? You rather that people?
No, I'd rather, like, this is all about this sort of honesty, right? I really appreciated when the first Final Fantasy 16 trailer showed up, that they were very explicit in saying this is rendered in PC, mimicking the PS5 experience, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, if it looked better or worse, in that case, like, it wasn't finished. And then we took a look at, oh my god, Juna is trying to get something out of my pocket. Sorry. In that case, like, I really appreciate the honesty, because when we get the game, like, okay, you know that the game, when they showed it, it was not ready, right?
No.
It's all about this honesty, right? Like, showing exactly what you have, where you're at, and being open about it.
And we talked about this before, right? We talked about the transparency and the honesty, and how publishers like, and it's all this hype machine. So what happens? So we have this hype machine created by publishers by creating the secrecy that we talked before, and this is a great segue in like to this subject, into the day before kind of controversy and the asset flip idea. Because what they did is that they used the hype machine to make a lot of money for themselves, and then they went like buy, you know, like,
not only that, they went like buy, and the situation got so bad that I don't think it even lasted like 24 hours up on the Steam page, to be honest.
The game closed down after 45 days.
45?
Like, you cannot play
really
anymore. Yeah, you cannot.
No, but you could not buy it, I think, after.
No,
like,
I don't remember how long, but what I know is that Steam changed the return policy for this game specifically. So that they couldn't use that to their advantage, because they said like, we didn't ask for your money, we never like asked for like any like Kickstarter or anything. We released it as there was not even pre-orders. They released on early access, and a bunch of people bought it day one, and it was like, we never asked for your money, you know. And they released something that they was bought, so they technically didn't break the law. So they just based on the amount of people that just didn't return it, they made a lot of money because they sold significant amount of units. They made a lot of money out of this, and it's just a scam. And it was just a scam. And how did they make this scam? This is a fascinating thing, and this is why I'm very paranoid with announcements and gameplay trailers. I'm actually more paranoid of gameplay trailers than through CG pre-render trailers, because to have a CG pre-render play trailer,
Yeah.
you need to go to somewhat of a pipeline, either hiring and outsourcing someone or having it in-house. But you need to have a certain amount of like a pipeline to be able to plan it, to be able to like to plan this trailer, right? And
not only that, like a marketing strategy, right? Because usually like those pre-rendered trailers are actually teasers, right?
yes,
Like it's the first one you get. You don't get it as the last one, or unless it's a story trailer or something like that. So you have not only you need to go through all the process of making it, you need also to go through all the process of marketing it.
yes,
Right. So it's a lot more work, and it actually, in a way, it actually conveys more trust for people who actually understand what we're about to talk about.
So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen really quick, and I just want to show you guys what actually asset flips can do. What asset flips can actually do is
This is
terrifying.
nuts.
So,
Terrifying,
so for example, let's go really quick here. Let me introduce you guys to something called the Ascent Combat Framework. Dark Tower Int made this, and it's actually a very well done, very well documented a kind of like asset that you can buy, you know. They're very well reviewed and everything. So if we see and you guys have everybody has access to this. Everybody has access to this. You can just literally go to the Unreal marketplace. And this is another thing that like I'm very paranoid about, is that a lot of games is like, oh, this is an Unreal Engine project. And it's like, now to me, Unreal Engine, because I know what the marketplace can do, I am not very like confident about Unreal Engine until I see certain things. And at the end of this podcast, we're going to go through those things that I look at to recognize that it's an actual team and an actual game and a real project that people are putting their life work in it. Not just like a random asset flip that just will one day or not come out, you know? And I think a lot of people can recognize it, but I'm going to showcase what I look for when just the first reveal comes out. So for now, this is like Ascent Combat Framework, right? So it has so many things that you can do with it. So many things. So when you go to the asset,
like whoever made this, like it's insane. It's insane. The team behind this, it's insane. They did something insane.
It's a wonderful thing what they did. It's a great thing, and there's advantages to this. There's advantages to these kind of like assets existing. There's huge advantages. So I will go through those as well. So if we get like, I just want you guys to look at this and know that this project, all these assets, modifiable and are available to you for what it's now on discount, less than $250,000, like $250 Canadian, by the way. So, because I live in Canada, so just it has menus, it has health bars, it has like dialogue system, a dialogue system. It has a map,
inventory system as well.
Inventory system. Options. It has like all animated, dodging attacks, full combat with AI, like full combat with AI.
Very hard to make, guys. Like,
it's a lot of work. It's a
melee
lot of
combat
work.
is one of the hardest things to pull off.
Yeah, and this thing has finishers, so you're thinking, okay, but it looks like a prototype, right? We're gonna go through that, but look at the amount of work, look at the amount of gameplay that you see just here. Now, here's another extra thing. These assets sometimes are replicated. What do I mean by that? It means that they are online multiplayer ready. Think about it. This
Yeah.
thing, you can buy it for your own project to legally make games for $250.
And you have online ready, and
You have,
you
I don't
have a
know if this
lot
is,
of systems.
let's say single
Yeah.
player game. Look
No,
at
no, but
this.
this might not have it, but a lot of projects out there,
Guys,
like
it has
like
horse riding and horse combat. If we go ahead,
Yeah.
it has horse combat.
Yeah.
It has horse combat.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's insane. It's insane.
What the amount of systems this guy has made is insane. Like the team who made this, they're amazing.
And that's not the only one, because there is more assets. Flexible combat system, very famous one. Resource crafting, inventory system, advanced dialogue, quest systems, stealth, assassinations. Like this one, even the one I showed you is impressive, but then check this one out. This one has, like, let's see, same feature video. Okay, so if we open this, if we open this video, sorry for the ad.
No worry.
So if we see this video, flexible combat system, look at that. This one has like AI that follows you. So you can have like party members on this one. And you can have groups fighting. Look at this. Just look at this.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
Insane.
So now you have AI fighting against AI, and it's insane.
Insane. It's insane.
These teams are insane.
It's insane. And I think this one is cheaper, by the way. Full AI with like RPG systems, a full targeting system. Like
they're selling you, like we've talked about it in the past. They're selling you like every single short loop you might want for an action RPG game. In this case, and the previous one,
for a Souls-like.
Souls-like or Dragon's Dogma sort of game,
But this is why people announce a new Souls-like, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying these new Souls-like." I don't trust any of them. When a Souls-like gets announced, who are you? Who's making this? What is this? I don't trust them.
Yeah, there's a lot of assets around that are actually made for Souls-like games. I think it's one of the most popular ones that you can find on the Unity asset store and Unreal.
This one, and I'll show it later. But this one you can have like factions, loot, AI, quests.
Every single short loop you might want for an action RPG.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But here's when this asset gets really, really insane, that you can modify it really quickly, and it has a system to make a Diablo, to make an action RPG. What? The same asset gives you, look at that. And you have so many.
So there you have your DLC. Look at that. You have your DLC there. That's pretty much what Immortals Phoenix Rising did, right? Which is a great game. I love Immortals Phoenix Rising. One of the DLCs literally turned the game into a Diablo clone, which is actually great. Immortals Phoenix Rising is a great game. I'm not throwing any garbage at it because I love it. But you have 2 games for the price of 1.
Now check this out. Same asset, pack, first person in multiplayer. Look at that. The same thing.
It's insane, man.
That's the Skyrim.
It's insane. It's insane.
Multiplayer, AI, like, look at that. Fully multiplayer. Okay? So, and this one is cheaper. It's cheaper.
So let's like that. Those are Canadian dollars, right?
Yes.
I'm making the conversion right now. So that's $142 US dollars.
Mhm.
Like for less than $150, you have every single short loop you might want for an action RPG game.
Make an action RPG.
Yeah,
Now what happens if I get flexible combat system or the Ascent combat framework, and I buy this medieval knight, super high end for 15 bucks? Look at it, incredibly detailed,
yeah, very well
really
done.
good looking knight, right? Really detailed, really nice. I buy these skeletons, also super high end, photorealistic, really nice looking, optimized for Unreal, modifiable, and I buy this aftermath environment, super high end, like great looking environment. Like if we look at the picture here, great looking environment, great looking assets. I already have the framework. What happens if I grab all these things that I just show you guys, put it together, and create a gameplay video promoting my new game, my new studio? It's like promoting a new game, a new studio,
Yeah.
and hey, it's gameplay. People are like, oh, I don't believe until I see gameplay. Mauken, in the stream, let's remove the video. So what happens if I grab all those assets I just showed you guys?
Yeah.
What happens if I grab all that and I make a video promoting my new Souls game? I'm sorry, it looks real.
It looks real. It looks real. It looks finished. It looks finished. It looks polished. It like
I alone work on it for, let's say, 3 months. I work on
3
it
months.
for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, you still require some sort of knowledge into changing the assets. So 3 months sounds pretty okay.
I'm sorry. It's not like we both know that's not like the greatest, like.
No, especially with Unreal, like people won't know about this, but Unreal actually gives you this the Unreal skeleton, it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
the mannequin.
It kind of, yeah, the mannequin, yeah, exactly. So you have the Unreal mannequin, right, which is like the Unreal standard, and everyone who makes animations or models for Unreal and uploads them to the Epic Game Store are actually made with the Unreal mannequin in mind. So pretty much every single animation and model you see in the Epic Game Store is pretty much, most probably, ready just for you to change it without too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
So what's gonna require the work is build some sort of level, populate it, because since you're playing it, since you are the one playing it, it is in a controlled environment, right? You are controlling the experience. You're controlling the camera. It's all in a controlled environment. So you don't even have to build a proper level, right? You just build whatever is going to be shown on the screen, and there you have it.
You need 3 minutes of good-looking gameplay. 3 minutes.
That's all you need to achieve.
That's all you need to achieve. To showcase it, and it's like, this is the new Souls-like. We came to revolutionize the genre. You just overpromise everywhere. You have and people are like, hey, whoa, this looks like really finished. That's impressive.
Yeah.
This is the power of an asset flip. So when the day before showcased a third-person shooter, a very generic third-person shooter in a very generic New York environment, I recognize those assets. I've seen them. I explore the marketplace myself from time to time.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it's really fun. And
it's really fun.
The Unity asset store also is really fun to explore, by the way, and it's really useful. And I want to talk about that aspect as well of the asset flip. There's positives of this, but the thing is that when you're gonna use this hype machine created by what we talked before, that the secrecy, this obsession of like controlling game development, keeping it under wraps, and then showcasing it to the world to create this hype explosion. These publishers create this hype machine. They just doesn't work because people get you. Now we created a world in which game development has been democratized. It's very accessible to people to go in and learn how to make games. It's amazing. This is one of the reasons why this channel is not a tutorial channel, or is not like we're gonna teach you a game. No, because there is 1,000 assets out there. There's 1,000 ways of learning. This is not what we believe that this is not what the people need from the industry right now. So this is one of the reasons we're showing you how easy it is to create a trailer that might probably take the internet by storm and be like, whoa, this is the new Souls. It looks incredible. Wow, it looks amazing, and it's there. You bought it. You spent less than 500 Canadian dollars to make this project.
You work on it for 3 months.
For 3 months.
You announce it, get all. Oh well, the day before they didn't have pre-orders, but
they didn't have but they never worked on it. They just kept hyping it, and it was just generic assets on a generic third-person shooter that, as we told you guys, it can't have online functionality already implemented. You can buy these character controllers. We can buy these loops with online functionality already implemented into them. So it's not even that.
No. And there are also assets that actually help you with implementing the online functionality. So there is that.
Many of these assets you buy come with full playlists of tutorials on how to use them. So
lots of them.
You have no experience on Unreal? No problem. YouTube has your back. You guys can go and do this right now. There is nothing illegal here. Nothing is illegal here. You can literally go in, spend $500. I think less than what like a PlayStation 5 costs. You can go in, create a trailer for a new Souls-like, put it out there, or hey, we're like a new studio. Register the studio. Say that is like a new studio. We're indies, and and put the trailer somewhere like
fake the effort. And
it's there. It's so easy. It's so easy. Don't trust game announcements. Just don't.
No, it's not easy. Not easy to trust game announcements.
No.
Like, don't pre-order too, because the day before they didn't have a pre-order, but the next one that comes around might have pre-orders. And
this is an extreme case.
What the day before showed is a little extreme. Exactly. Like, even people who bought it day one, like, were actually scammed. That's a good thing about reviews, right? Like, okay, they kind of let you know if the game is real or not. You might like reviews, you might not. I'm not a huge fan of reviews, but that's at least what they tell you. Is the game to be trusted or not? Especially for developers you do not know.
So the thing is that, okay, this is an extreme case of someone creating a scam through asset flips. And with the power, this is how the day before finally showcased how powerful asset flips can be. Do not trust game announcements ever. None. Don't ever trust them. Let's say it's from a known publisher, it's a known franchise, it's a known everything. That trailer was made with assets and gameplay that was specifically crafted for that trailer. That cost a lot of man hours on work that did not go to the game itself. So don't trust them.
That's tough.
Don't trust them. That's it. Don't trust announcements. And then that is the minimum of what can happen. And then comes the other side, There comes the other side, and then you go all the way to the day before, and it's like it can easily be a scam. So now, if it's a new team, or they say, "Oh, one person is making this," just don't trust them.
No.
I'm not saying that 100% of the case this game is going to be bad or it's going to be a scam. No, just don't trust them. Don't pre-order. Don't give your money to anything that you don't know. Like just don't.
Wait to see the people reaction. Wait to see how people are actually reacting to it.
Wait to see if they have a marketing plan.
Too, yeah.
And then the final thing I want to say, specifically on the negative side of these marketplaces, is that I really hope that publishers again stop relying on the hype machine and stop asking so much of developers to just make a trailer to feed this hype machine.
Exactly.
I think it would be better for everybody if we make behind the scene documentaries, short gameplay videos let's be honest on the state of the game,
and be open about it. Like be willing to be open about it.
But don't do what EA did with the new Dragon Age. That is like, hey, they were honest about it at the beginning. They show us like, hey, this is where we are. We're gonna show you a little bit of gameplay that is unfinished, some prototypes. This is what we're working on. And then they radio silent. No, you did that. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking. You know? Make short snippets, like make YouTube shorts or Instagrams or TikToks or whatever, short snippets to keep people like, hey, this thing is happening. This is what they're working on. Like I'm pretty sure that nowadays people would be more excited with what the game actually is.
Yeah.
Than just feeding this hype machine through and just with assets that are not gonna be there even in the game. I remember there was a trailer of Final Fantasy 15 that there was like, if you watch the original trailer of when Final Fantasy Versus 13 changed to 15, half of the trailer is gone. It's not in the game.
No, it's not in the game. Yeah, no, it's not there.
Half of the trailer is not in the game. And then a bunch of people are disappointed on Final Fantasy 15 because it's like not what it was promised.
Not what it was promised 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
10 years of trailers. And then
complete radio silent. If you're not working on that game, if people like, let's be honest, Versus 13 was probably not worked on for 10 years.
No, of course not. To be honest, like, there was some gameplay footage for Versus 13, but that was probably, I don't know, I think like 2009, 2010 maybe.
I don't know. It was actually like really good gameplay. Like it looked really good back then. You were like,
where there were tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was. It looked, in my opinion, better than what 15 ended up being. But that's because like they just hyping things that are not real.
No,
that's it. That's what they were doing.
Square is a master at this. Square is a master at this. Right?
At it.
They did the same with Kingdom Hearts 3. They showed a trailer done in the Luminous engine, which was their in-house engine, right? They showed this trailer where Sora got like Aqua's key, and then they showed some pre-rendered gameplay, and then radio silence, and then we're switching to Unreal Engine 4. What the hell? What the hell, right? Like, if you were open about it, you'd be like, hey guys, like, we needed to change because the engine was not working this way. So people would not have been disappointed, like, would not have been worried about the game. Like, I don't know.
It's real.
I don't know.
It's just radio silence. Is when publishers go radio silent, when publishers don't talk,
where
we make things in our head that is like not real, based on the little information we got. We tend to overanalyze trailers. How many trailer analysis videos are out there, like we're talking about Final Fantasy. There is literally a channel, Final Fantasy Union, that is like things you miss on the trailer, and they're looking at like if they like at this point they're counting how many eyelashes the models have.
Yeah.
like, because that's the
Yeah.
only snippet of information that they will get for like a long time.
Yeah.
If people were used to like, hey, we're gonna get like some information consistently, well, we're gonna get some like screenshots, like anything. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of keep communicating consistently instead of keeping radio silence forever and then just like magically like, hey, yeah, we're 6 months away from release. We are re-announcing the game and just starting the marketing plan. Like we like this hype machine is just feeding these scams, is feeding this, Now, that's the final point I want to make with the
Yeah.
negative side of
Onto
assets
the
and
good part.
marketplace. Now,
Onto the
the
good
good
part. There are
part,
there are a lot of goods in this. There are a lot of benefits to it, right? Like, I think it all of this asset flipping actually started as something good. It
yes,
turned out like it got its negative side, but it actually started as something good, and there's a lot of benefits to it, right? Like
a
a
hundred
lot
percent,
of developers.
a hundred
Yeah.
percent. Because like, let's say you're starting a studio, a small studio, you're starting an indie project, which is actually something we
Yeah.
talked about, right? Like, eh, we hope that in the future we have our own studio, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like both of us. And the thing is, okay, so these asset marketplaces are a really great tool to get the project started at the beginning and get a
Yeah.
prototype going with like a vertical slice of what the game is going to be with a
Yeah.
and with that you can, it's a significant tool. These marketplaces and these assets that you can get are a significant tool to get funding
Yeah.
for new
Exactly.
developers.
Especially when you don't have like a full team, right? You don't have
Mhm.
an animator, or you don't have an
Yet.
artist, or you don't have, right, yet, exactly, yet, right? But you don't have an animator. Okay, you can get a lot of animations there that might actually work just to showcase what you're working on,
Mhm.
the design and the ideas you have for it, right? So yeah, it's a good way
Um,
to keep your project.
exactly, to
Really good.
kickstart this project, right? Like, hey, you get like a early vertical slice. Like a vertical slice is
Yeah.
when you have the game, you reach a point in which you stop like like it's the end of pre-production. When you have a game that showcases all that you want the game to be, is nothing is finished, nothing is remotely finished,
Yeah.
like it's just a prototype, but you have something tangible to show publishers, hey, this is what we want to do. And then you have that is a tool that is essential, because these asset places and these marketplace like things that you can buy, they give you a very comprehensive list of assets that you need to
Yeah.
implement the game that you want to make. So you know at
Yeah.
least the minimum of how much you need, which allows you, so not you create a prototype, but also these assets allow you to create a business plan, which is very important when you're starting, like when you're making a game, right? Like people don't think about this, but like your business plan, what is your business plans, what is like, how are you going to make money out of this game, and how much this game is going to cost. And publishers always ask, what is your cost per month? This is a real thing.
Yeah.
So by knowing the amount of assets that you have, you bought them. Yeah, but you're starting your studio, you buy these assets, you create a solid prototype with the art style that you kind of want to have, like something that is not nowhere
Yeah.
close to the final game, but you grab these assets, and then you have a number of assets there that tells you what would be required to create this, like the same thing but with your assets and with your own design and with your own
Yeah.
production. And then you can expand that. It's like, hey, I want to have, like, this is one level, I want to have like 20 levels. Now that it's like, okay, so I need, this is a level assets, I can do the same amount of like work with this amount of assets. So you can have approximations of how much is gonna cost your game to make, your cost per month, your cost in production and your cost per month. This is essential when you go to a publisher asking for funding to get this ball started.
Yeah.
This is one of the most important things. And all of this happened because you had access to the asset stores. or the marketplaces.
Yeah.
So there is a big positive here, and there is a great tool for the indie market, and I think a really, really powerful tool for the indie market to reduce the scope, like to reduce the cost of their games without sacrificing scope, and to go out there searching for funding so that these studios can exist. It's a fascinating thing. I think it's a really positive thing. It's just that
no, it is.
It's just that there hasn't been a tool to tell the public to be a little bit paranoid.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like
games are not like movies. They are, or like if you think about it, how much music samples other songs, right? Like, but in a song is not.
They even sell samples out there. Like there are samples out there. Not even like I'm talking about as if it was the 90s. No, like you can get free samples out there, right?
Yeah,
as long as you credit whoever made it, right? And how many people have sampled it? You know, I think that's a great example, actually. A great example and a great comparison. Like sound samples.
Yeah, and they make something new with it, you know, like the music like business makes something new with old samples, and it revitalizes itself, you know. And I think there's something similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's something similar here that can happen, and that would happen with like assets. But I think the general audience needs to be significant. I think they're starting, like the general public is starting to get there, but pre-orders are still a thing. Pre-orders are still a thing, and they shouldn't be.
People fall for it just for the pre-order bonus, right? Those pre-order bonuses that are there just to hook you in. But guys, usually those pre-order bonus are just cosmetics.
No, the team is not going to spend a significant amount of effort on pre-order bonuses.
No. Or another quest, right? And just on a pre-order bonus. Like people, no, guys, think about it. Like it's usually not really worth it. Like whatever you're getting as a pre-order, it's not really worth it. Yeah,
it's just there is a way to avoid a situation like the game, like the day before. There is ways to avoid this situation.
Yeah,
asset flips are significantly more powerful than people give them credit. Like so many people are talking about the asset flip of the day before as just like, oh look, they took this city and they put it in the game. No, most probably the whole thing was an asset flip. The whole thing, the character controller, the weapons, the sounds, the voice, everything was an asset flip.
Because if you think there are a lot of packages out there for an action RPG, wait till you see how many are there for first and third person shooters. Like
triple.
So there's so much that like one of the ways Unity encourage people to learn how to use Unity is with a shooter project they made themselves and give it for free just so that you try it, right? Like there's so many. For shooters, right?
Unreal has a first-person template with a first-person character controller already built up on it.
Yeah, it's there. Like whenever you start,
and then you download. There is like AI packs for third-person and first-person shooters with cover mechanics, stuff like that, already made. Like you can't.
Whenever you start a new Unreal Engine project, it actually asks you, hey, which template do you want to use? First person, third person, no template. And I think there's another one there. Like
now, how to identify asset flips is two ways, I think. One is art style.
It's exactly,
Most of the assets. Exactly. One of the main things, and this is why I encourage so much art style. Art style is so important because it's so important. Is that, but not just art style on how the characters look, but like, do they
No
have a specific type of render? For example, do they do does
animations.
them exactly? Does the environment
How they
looks
run.
generic fantasy? You know, does the
Yeah,
environment
use this PBR or photorealistic uh sort of art style. It's everywhere in the
everywhere,
asset stores, everywhere.
everywhere? And
Yeah,
the other art style that is everywhere is like the kind of raw, like a little bit like no texture, flat textures, low poly aesthetic.
yeah. But low poly, no, no, not low poly as of PS1, but low
No,
poly
I'll
as
sh-
a lot of mobile games actually.
so many, so
A
many,
lot of
so
mobile
many.
games.
So I
Uh,
have a couple of assets here, like low poly, that you will see in the you will see in mobile games a lot as well. Let me just find. I like we're. I'm pretty sure we can find a couple of assets here, just literally out of nowhere. Just guys, I just started searching. Okay, I just started searching, and
literally, he just started searching. He just typed in the Unreal in the Epic Games Store uh for low poly, and
so
yeah,
so let me. I'm gonna share my screen again, really quick, and so character. You guys, this is what I mean. You know these like type of low poly assets, like you know, and they have like
yep.
all of them already
They're
made and
used
stuff
a lot in mobile games.
in mobile games. Or there's been some indie games that use this a lot. You know,
Yeah.
this type of character, like low poly character. And then if we go like, hey, there's a modular like low poly dungeon, you know, and if we go down, there's several like more low poly assets, what they would say, you know. And then look at this, oh, low poly village, you know. And then it's like this kind
And
of
it
like
looks like a very polished and worked low poly aesthetic.
exactly right, like it's like a very, but in reality it's just like really simple. So if we go through the asset store, we can literally find that there's a tag here called low poly, and there
Yes.
is a bunch of characters that are like just low poly. And there's like like here's another one of that aesthetic, you know. And it's
Yeah.
just it's just so my recommendation is, if you are into the uh, if you want to go into like, my recommendation to recognize a game that it's a big asset flip, or or you know, that is a little bit suspicious, go to the Unreal Marketplace and the Unity store and
And
look at
look.
the environments and look at what you can get there. And you
Yeah.
will find that there's very generic, specific art styles that you don't trust. I don't trust realistic photorealism, like in-world photorealism that is like,
No.
oh, this city in the snow, or this zombie apocalypse, or this any city that is photorealistic. I don't trust it, because I've seen so many super high quality assets that are like just so good. I just don't trust them.
Yeah.
So how to
Yeah. Those
avoid?
two art styles. Those two art styles are pretty much like the main contenders that you'll find there. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you need a
And even
specific art styles with a specific character designs that are like the more unique it looks to
yeah,
you, the better. But
yeah.
I still recommend people to go to these asset stores, the Unity asset store or the Unreal Marketplace, because people would be
And look for it.
surprised with what you can find there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Again, back to the point where of single developers, right? Like Stardew Valley, like a single developer is not pretty much able to achieve
No,
that photorealistic art style in such a little amount of time.
no.
It would take so many man hours, right? While Stardew Valley is like one of the greatest, if not the greatest, one man army kind of game, right?
I,
Ever made. And look at the art style, look at the scope of it, right?
what
It's
was the
still getting
name of this?
updated, but of the guy who made it, I don't remember. I don't remember, but the scope of it, it's just perfect, right? Like, it's way easier to achieve like a 2D pixel art style than a
Yeah,
photorealistic 3D one,
I'm
right? So
looking right now.
look, yeah, the scoping, and the scoping not only goes for your game mechanics, it also goes for your art style. Certain art styles are much harder to achieve than other ones.
My favorite single developer game is Axiom Verge, actually,
Axiom Verge too, yeah.
and
And
Cave
Dawson
Story.
Elysian Tale is also a one man army kind of
But you
game.
tend to find a real, yeah, actually, Dust and Elysian Tale is XNA. It's not even Unity. It's stuff. There is
Yeah,
no way that can be an asset flip. It's like it was
yeah,
made
but
with
you
XNA.
see what I'm going for? Like a single guy can make what, right? All of them share this aspect that is a 2D game. I mean, yes, someone can actually make a 3D game, right? I'm not gonna say that it's impossible. Right now, I cannot think about one. But what would
No
the art
Sun to
style of that look?
Worship, for example. No Sun to Worship was
Is
made
that a
by
one man?
was
Is that
a
made
single
by
developer
one
in
person?
Mexico City. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
small indie
you see?
game. I really enjoy it. But it's a stealth game that you finish in 2 hours. It's like it delivers a very tight experience, But like
Yeah,
it's 3D, but looks like a PlayStation One game. So you find there's a general like real one developer like games
yeah,
makes sense in scope. They can have big scopes, but they make sense,
yeah,
make sense in the scope of the game. You're not gonna find like like you're not gonna find like a single developer making like a hardcore 3D hyper realistic alone, because the amount of work is like insane.
you're not gonna find The
Insane.
Last of Us made by one guy. Is like
No,
Neil Druckmann is not the only guy who worked on The Last of Us.
no, not even
Yeah,
close. So,
yeah, no,
like just remember, games are a collaborative effort for a reason. Remember scope. We as you guys can see in this podcast, we go back to the same principles. So scope. Does this scope make sense for a one developer? Most probably not. Go to the asset store. You will see it yourself how much you can do without knowing anything, and how easy you can like create a trailer that looks hyper believable. Register a company for free, and you have a team. You have like, oh yeah, we're a new team of developers. Who are you? Don't fall
yeah,
trap. Please don't fall trap on release trailer, like on announcement trailers. Like,
yeah.
and there is a reason why I tend to prefer pre-rendered, really
At
like
least for the
trailers.
first look of it. At least for the
At least
first
for the
look.
first look,
It kind of shows you. It kind of shows you the care that's going behind the game.
just to know that this game exists. If the purpose of this trailer is to tell you that this game exists, I'm very happy with a pre-render trailer, and then showcase a demo. Showcase a demo with its bugs. Like, I think
Oh
nowadays people are
man, I
educated
wish.
enough to understand that a game is a work in progress.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of wish that demos come back like strong. Yeah, I don't. I like
Yeah.
only a couple of games get demos nowadays, and they were actually really good.
Yeah,
They
I
were
agree.
really, really good. I enjoyed them a lot. Enjoyed them a
I
lot,
agree.
and actually got convinced into buying a lot of new games because of that.
Me too.
Right?
I think this ties to the next subject to tackle, that is like early access. Because early access showcase what open development can do, right? Like
Yeah.
we talk about
Let's look at Baldur's Gate 3, but yeah.
Baldur's Gate or Hades. Oh, like
Yeah.
you can see what can happen, and so yeah, that's all I got, man. To be honest,
No,
that's
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 cool.
all I got
That's
about the
cool.
subject.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I hope you guys like the video. I hope like everything was clear, to be honest.
yeah.
And guys, like don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Let's
Don't
not
fall
have
for it,
another
please.
the day before, or as I like to
Yeah,
call it, yesterday. Don't let another yesterday situation come into place, guys.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, guys.
yeah,
Like,
let's avoid that.
all right. This is the game design perspective. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you here next week.
Have
That's
a
all I
good
got,
one,
Mao.
guys.
Have a good one.